السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي هارون أخي اشدد به أزري وأشركه في أمري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا. وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم. ربنا اغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين. آمين. الحمد لله رب العالمين. We started studying the chapter Inshirah yesterday, last week, sorry. And we studied the first verse only. And then, inshallah, we went into details last week. So there is no need to go back again to revise it. Now the second verse, وَوَضَعْنَا عَنْكَ وِزْرَكَ. What is important? The important word is وَوَضَعْنَا عَنْكَ. We removed your burden from you. So we removed. We think that we are removing our burden. But the verse says, no, we removed. Of course, we will talk about the burden. Burden, the translation of burden is wizr. Wizr means various meanings, but more or less the same thing. Maybe human responsibility. Even the sins are called wizr. Doesn't matter, but something wrong. Something is not good. So we have removed your burden from you. So we have to talk about the burden, which kind of burden we have in this world, in this life. Burden of what? Burden of what burden we are carrying now most of the time on our shoulders. We have to go to work. Yep. Mm-hmm. Take care of the bills. But it's not only one, too many bills. Yeah. And also we have to prepare the things for us. Are they? They seem to be the burden of our practical life. Yeah.
Can we break it down into like categories? Like, you have financial burdens, you have physical burdens, perhaps like emotional, mental.
Yeah. For example, feeling alone, lonely, is one of the heaviest burden of this age. Because, for example, if we were living in a not industrialized society, we would be busy with the animals, plants, and we would not have time to be feel lonely. We would be speaking to sheep, the cow, or whatever the animals we are breeding. Maybe we would be speaking to our horses or whatever the means we have for animals to help us. But in this society, you cannot speak with your car, though you should be able to it, but we don't. Because animal response. There's a cat in my neighborhood. It is always free on the sidewalk. So it's very friendly. The cat is very friendly. So when he sees the people whom and the cat knows. It comes and speaking, it starts speaking. But you cannot speak with the machines, with the car, with the wall. It looks like as if even the neighbors are like walls. No, they don't respond. That's maybe the kindest neighbor will tell you hi or good morning or good evening. That's it. You don't know, even you go and live in a house where the rooms are shared, you don't even know the person who's living in the next room under the same roof. That is the burden of loneliness, which is quite severe. And also something that's expanded. Let's say, for example, that burden of being left alone. No one is really taking care of you.
Being an orphan.
Yeah, sorry?
The burden of being an orphan.
The concept we studied before, being an orphan, it means there is no one who takes care of us in this world. But the Quran, as it is defined, the speech of God, the creator or the owner of everything exists in this world, said, no, we are taking care of you. You shouldn't feel lonely. You shouldn't feel orphan. We are with you. We provided everything what you need, but what we are suffering from, the lack of what our intentions, not intentions, our own feelings that we feel we have to satisfy the thing I want. But these are mostly not real, artificial. Maybe not invented by yourself, but invented by the society or the civilization, especially the industrialized civilization, that we have to take care of many things which are not from birth is to be taken care of. They are not related to our real life, really. These are the requirements of the artificial life. So
I would like to understand, why are you classifying that as artificial? Because to me, it seems like I understand that there can be an external influence. But if I was to even look at this outside of that, or irrespective of that, I still understand that to be like it's in my creation, or in the way that I've been created, to be in need or to be in want of whether it's, again, financial stuff, food stuff, physical stuff, or loneliness, as we were talking about. I understand that I can communicate with not just people, but other things, but even that need or want to desire to communicate is also, like, I find myself with it. I'm not sure if I would say it's artificial or society gave that to me.
not the food we are talking about.
So we can leave food aside for now.
Yeah, not the air, not the water.
Mm-hmm.
What, for example, give us an example what you are talking about.
So I would like to further...
For example, need, which is not artificial, although in our category, in my category, let me make it for myself, my category, I call them artificial. For example,
let's take the same example that you brought up, loneliness, right?
Mm-hmm.
My material body
Mm-hmm.
does not need company, whether it's people or things. Doesn't matter. It doesn't need it. I guess, my existence. When I say pure, I'm talking about just my existence. That doesn't need it. That doesn't need company. However, let's say these other qualities, or faculties, as we've been studying it, requires interaction. It requires communication, for me to be able to develop myself. If I don't have any interaction, if I don't have any form of engagement with the universe or communication with the universe, I cannot develop, I cannot grow. Therefore, that seems very conflicting with my human nature, the way that I've been created, which is this need to know, this need to interact or develop. Perhaps need is not more of a fitting word here. Want or desire is. But even that want or desire seems to be something that I've been created with, not necessarily something that I'm bringing into existence.
Okay, don't you see this diverging from our needs that are related to our primary creation, let's say the way we are created, and we are required because of the influence or the requirement of the society, the civilization we are living. Don't you see the difference? For example, in order to satisfy yourself with accompanying the creation and everything is disturbed, and having some human beings to relate yourself to, disturbed by individualistic understanding of life, individualistic understanding of the social life, which is artificially came out. It may not be aimed at, but artificially came out by a wrong ideology of the society that we are in. Wrong ideology. For example, take care of yourself and run after your own benefit. This is that. It's everybody really seeks his own interest. The top-level interest will come out. This kind of ideological premises are not in the nature. They are not in the way that we are created.
Well, personally, I think there are two ways to look at it. If you look at yourself as just at an existential level, then you really don't need anything other than the sustenance of your own existence. And for that matter, like air or food is not even of concern. But then you start looking at your own existence in the way that you are now, which is the material side, your emotional side, your rational side, all like inclusive of all your qualities, your material existence, your existential existence. If you look at it collectively, I don't think that like interaction and communication are just desires, but they're kind of needs, just as how my body is put in need for food or nutrients. My intellect desires or needs or requires wisdom to be there. My emotion requires, let's say, happiness or joy to be there. And just like that, whatever quality of me requires communication or interaction.
What does this civilization do to you? It becomes impossible to communicate with people. The people don't have time, and you don't have time, and also you are indoctrinated in the fear of everything. So don't get closer to strangers, and don't let anybody, it's very strange, to get closer to your child. and teach your child. No, don't get any closer to anyone. Yeah? The child from the very young age, young age is conditioned that,
I think we should be good.
okay, conditioned that everyone is an enemy, potential enemy. They may harm you. So if you are subject to this civilization and if you are grown with this understanding, you cannot trust anybody. You can trust only the state authority that you have to pay tax. That's artificial. Yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. So actually, these are the external needs that we have been talking. So we have to understand that we should be careful about the prevailing the values of the civilization, and we have to make our own decisions according to the way we are created. But we have to clear off our misunderstandings, misconceptions that I need this, I need that. These are clear. It doesn't mean that we should isolate ourselves from this society and go to the mountains. No, you don't. But you have to know that these are artificial, not real. So I have to come to my real senses. As far as the material bodily side of my existence is concerned, everything essentially, existentially, the way I am created, what I mean by existentially, the way I am created is provided by the Creator. We are not doing anything. We don't have to do a lot of things, but the influence of the culture, influence of the tradition, yeah, influence of one's own culture and the culture prevalent in the society. These influences are very heavy, very strong, and it is not easy to overcome them. Not easy at all. Not every, but there is a way to overcome them. Awareness. This awareness can be obtained. How? This verse says, we removed your burden. We removed your burden. It means in order to get out of these artificial burdens, which take actually most of our energy, we have to be careful about it. Let me turn this one off so it interacts my attention. Okay. It takes most of our energy. For example, think about your life. How much time do you have to consider your reality in this existence? What I mean by your reality, we will come to this point. Your real needs as human beings, it means your existential needs, which to understand, we touched upon it last week. We need to be free from every worries. Don't we? I did. I should have no worry at all in my life. What? Because everything is taken care of by my Creator. All other worries are coming from or stemming from the influence from outside society, either materially or ideologically. I wouldn't say spiritually. Ideology is really ingrained or imposed upon you, ideology. So, for example, whatever this society tells me that you should have it is not essential need as far as my creation is concerned. Think about it. I don't want to be very specific so that people may say, no, we are against working, we are against using the public transportation, this kind of, they are all artificial. But we have to know that they are artificial, they are not essential. If we ourselves, for example, the clear example, not directly related to the topic itself, but as an example, I am using it because I don't want to go into practical matters because it may be misunderstood. For example, if I say I'm dependent on the car, on transportation, means of transportation, which die, but God provides me what? Means of transportation which gives birth to new generations. Now, camel, the donkeys, and horses. Yeah, you can pay less to the horse, but we pay more to the car, and car dies and you need to renew your car because it starts costing more. This is the artificial conditions of life. But the horse, how many times the horse gives birth to new, however you call the horse's baby, how do you call it? Colt? C-U-L-T?
C-O-L-T.
C-O-L-T, colt. Okay. But how many? How many colt before they die? Yeah, I don't know. But at least 10, if not 15. But I don't know how long they live, but doesn't matter. And then they die. If it is a camel, for example, so you can eat the meat after they die. It is not waste. Yeah. I don't know. Some people say you can eat the meat of horse, or some scholars say don't, but doesn't matter really. But when you have the car got old, out of fashion, you have to pay for the towing. You don't get anything out of it. So what does it mean? The values of the society have changed so much that we are immersed with the burden of this corrupt civilization that we are living in. But we have to be careful about it. It doesn't mean that, that's why I don't want to give this kind of examples. It doesn't mean that, no, we should get a camel and ride in New York, because it is more reasonable, more natural, more friendly, more humanly. An animal communicating with the animal. He recognizes you, especially the horses. They recognize you. They really give signals that they are happy with you, as my cat in my street. It comes to you and it starts speaking, meow, meow, to something like that, makes noise. And I say, oh, I understand, that's your salam. I say, alaikum salam. But he speaks with the language of cat, I speak with the language of a human being. We communicate. And you cannot really go passing by. You have to play with it. That's what I feel. It waits. It waits and comes next to my leg and starts scratching my leg with his body, And you feel not only that you are within a communication with a living being, but what this society offers you, nothing. Even you go to the restaurant, what they see you, how they see you, as a money maker, money giver. Your payment, means of payment. They see you as in the form of a dollar shape. Yeah, even they say, hi, good morning, sir. You understand that? Yeah, I know. You are going to charge me $50 for nothing, almost nothing. Yeah, that's why I say good morning. Yeah, if I come here and bring my food and eat what they say, no, you cannot bring your own food in the restaurant. Yeah, but it's humanity. That is human nature. It's gone. So we have to make the distinction. But this is material. This is not really essential matter that the Quran says. As far as we are concerned, we did not put you in this position so that you are really oppressed under the burden of this life, and you are stressed out, and you have to spend not only 1 or 2 hours, whole life. You go to work and get tired in the evening, come home exhausted, and barely enjoy your life out of work in the office. And what happens? As soon as you go to sleep, you have to gain strength in order to work tomorrow, the following day. Yeah, that's why the famous philosopher, whatever, says they feed you in order to work on the following day, so that they can suck you. Yeah, do you understand? This is the civilization. It was a good understanding of awareness, although he's an atheist, but doesn't matter. But it's an awareness of what this civilization offers us. This is material side of our life, right? How about intellectual side of it? Now, for example, our way of understanding of my being a human being, our need to understand my feelings are, my emotions are, and my really conception of my existence. We call it this meaning of existence. Who provides it for me in a satisfactory way? Meaning of existence. If you go to the prevailing, and the prevalent as well, philosophy, they say you are the result of random happenings. And unfortunately, your cells have not developed in such a way that you can remain young, you can live as long as you want, but your cells fail to develop the defense factors or defense mechanisms. Yeah, defense mechanism. On the contrary, the cells produce something, I don't know the technical words, it's very interesting. As to those people who study biology should know much better than me. As soon as we are born, the cell starts deteriorating our own existence, its own existence. Yep. It starts from 100%, goes down to 40, 30% at the end. Whatever you do, because your failure of your cell randomly happened in this way, accidentally happened in this way, kills you. Your own cells kill you and themselves as well, together with you. Right? If I am the result of a random happenings in this natural world, the material world, why do I bother about living? That's the most essential question that we have to bring into our discussion or our considerations every day. Every day. What is the meaning of my existence to me, so that how am I going to adjust my life according to this meaning by using my free will? We forget it. You can ask the question, for example, today, this morning, until now, yeah, definitely you lived or you were awake for 12 hours until now. Have you ever thought the meaning of your existence and be satisfied with it, even when you pray? Yep. So ask yourself. And if you have a positive answer, yes, today I was very happy with my existence. because it is very meaningful for me. It became very meaningful for me when I thought about it, because it is the grace of my gracious, merciful Creator gave me existence and let me taste the pleasure of existing. And I'm very happy that I exist by the grace of my Creator. I am not the result of a random, cannot be, because it is materially cannot be proven. It is just a superficial idea, really made up stories, all made up stories, covered up stories. I mean, we are not going to go into details about the subject, but I seek for meaning, and my material being and the material being used in my body, employed in my body, cannot be the source of the meaning that I am searching for, I am desperately in need of. Cannot be the source of, because they don't have it. Particles don't have it. From where they will get it? From where they will get the emotions, from where the feelings, from where they will get even their own existence by themselves. It is all impossible for human logic. For human logic. They are just really forcing human logic, saying that you have to submit to it because there is no other way of explaining your being in this world. They are forcing us. Because there's no other way. That's the only way they teach. And unfortunately, the whole civilization is based on it. And it is very much supported by those people who make materially most of this civilization. If you are a biologist and doing microbiology studies, etc., if you study in order to defend evolution theory, which is based on random happenings, fundamentally, you can get funds from whom? From whom? From those people who are rich and run some sort of companies that produces things which, in fact, we don't need. So that our minds must be dumbed, so that we cannot really freely think about. So all the kids in the schools, starting from the age of 7, 8, they are indoctrinated with this ideology, so that they totally depend on the artificial, everything artificial, not real, artificial. That you cannot really, in some cases, in this, in such societies under the influence of this heavy materialist, secularist civilizations, under the influence of, you cannot give them or the food that cooked at home. You have to give wrapped up, ready food, prepared by other companies and made 300%, 500% profit on them. They give you a handful of things which costs them 5 cents, 10 cents, because the manufacturing is so mass manufactured. They tell you, they sell you each of them at this $1, not $2. The cost of it 5 cents. 1,000%. But that's why they don't want you to wake up. And this verse says, hey, we removed your burden from you by sending you the help, to guidance, how to understand your being, how you really make your being meaningful, not to be carried away by other factors that are the results of human stories, made up stories under the name of scientific researches. Look at the guidance the Quran says. But material side, you don't have to need the guidance from the speech of God, because if you use your brain, really, you understand that what you are working for what? And you are spending at least 8 hours, or it's not 10, but with the commuting, it costs at least 10 hours a day. Yeah, at least in New York conditions, at least 10 hours a day, maybe more. For what? What do you need? If you are careful about the artificial needs, what do you need? And you will feel more human, then you will be able to think about your own reality and try to communicate with the rest of the creation, and you will be the friends of everybody, and you will be happy in your life, so you will be happy with your neighborhood as well, with the people around you. Not only by saying only 1 word, 2 words in the morning, and that's it. No, come together, reflect on the serious subjects together, and try to understand deeper meaning in your existence, in your life, and become more and more satisfied. For example, turn death into a transition from this transient world into an external world, and eternal world, you will be really happy. Whatever happens to you, you know that it is for a purpose, to make you realize what your reality is. There is nothing in this world purposeless. As you look at the creation, is there anything in this world which acts in this world in a not purposeful way? How do you say?
Purposeless.
Purposeless. Have you seen anything? Acts in this world, an ant and a fly, living in a purposeless way. In a purposeless way. Have you seen? They have their own purposes for their own life, to sustain their life. So, what only the slave of the living beings are? Who are they? Slaves. Even the horses carry even the camels carry their loads, etc. For example, what the camels do, they are ready. If you want to get on them, you don't have to bother. Communicate with the camel. It kneels down to take you on. Yep. And the horses. Yeah. When you ride the horses, they love it. They don't say, no, I don't want to carry you. No, they love to carry you. In their communications with you, you understand that they are happy. So everything becomes your friend. You can speak to plants. You can love them. And we don't have time to love the plants. You can only use the flowers just to make a bouquet, to present somebody's wedding celebrations or party celebrations or something. We don't communicate with them. Really. And it is also commercialized. That it is freely grown somewhere and they charge you $20, $30, but they are grown there freely. But they say, okay, we have to have mass production in order to do this. We have to have this technology, that technology, this kind of to kill the to kill the insects. She got the right
Pesticides. Pesticides.
No, I don't know. Speaking, I don't understand.
Pesticides.
Pesticide. Okay, pesticide. And you have to pay for it. That's also another business, helping each other. Yeah, people think that the science is developing. Yeah, well, for example, they get more fruit by how do you say, modifying the genes, yeah, the genetically modified fruits. And you get the seed. They provide you the seed, but this seed you have to buy it every year. You cannot get the seed that you grow something and then get the seed out of it because they are seedless. They do it in a trick. They say, oh, we are helping the people. Technology is to help the people, but we make you dependent on them. Not freely. They don't give you free. You have to be dependent on them. You say that, oh, the telephone is wonderful. Okay, then how much do you pay a month? You have to work for it. And I use the computer, for example, and they use internet. How much do I pay for it? Can you imagine millions of people, everybody almost has a telephone? Eh? There are, for example, in the world, 5 billion people. Let's forget about them. In America, there are 380 or 400 million people. How much? I don't know the census yet. It's coming. So almost there are 400 telephones. Some people have 2, 3 in every family. Yeah. Think of your family. Your father has one, your mother has one, you have one, your sister has one, your brother has one. Isn't that the case? Is it the case or not? In one family, there are 5 telephones, at least. If there was a kid, okay, what they do? Tablets. Yeah. There was a baby in the mosque. Just now, I was in the masjid. I was praying. There was a baby, and the dummy was in his mouth. Dummy. So somebody put his telephone on the floor and prayed. People will think that we are fetishist people. We prayed. We make ruku and sujud on the phone, although we get Shiite people angry that they are making prostration on they call it stone. Well, it doesn't matter. There's no need to go to details. And what in front of while we are praying, isn't that the case? In front of us, the iPhone is there, or telephone is there, or smartphone is there. So the baby with the dummy in his mouth, I don't know, maybe 1-year-old only, just toddler, but walking okay. Not 12 months, but 13 months. Came, the man was praying, the telephone was in front of him, came and found the place where you start the telephone and pressed on it. 1-year-old. Isn't that slavery? Yeah? Isn't that slavery? So what we do now, the mothers, they have to work. Yeah? They have to go to work. The father works, mother works, and in order to pay the rent, in order to pay the insurances for the car, for the house, and lots of medical care, or lots of things. So they have to work, 2 of them. So what they do, they get tired and they come home and put in the hands or in front of the baby this pad, how do you say? iPad?
Tablet.
A tablet, yeah, and let him watch the values, the films which indoctrinate the values of the existing civilization, and they make it so attractive. So the baby gets there and stops crying. Oh, Alhamdulillah, for what? I am poisoning my child. And there is no affection, personal interaction. Now, in order to be aware of this, we have to open up to the guidance that our Creator sends us. But the Creator doesn't say, don't buy tablets for your children, 1-year-old child, but provides you with the meaning that you have to live for. This meaning in the guidance. This can only be provided by not the philosophers, not the scientists, only your creator. Because although potentially we may be able to discover this, but practically we don't. We need encouragement, we need teaching, we need education. And God says, it is upon us to provide this. Look for it. This is the real meaning of this. Did we not remove your burden from you? It's real. It is we do it. It means we did it, yes, but of course, for the present time, what do we understand here? God's promising, my Creator is promising that, look, it is upon me to provide the means of removing your burden from you. I will do it, but look for it. Because we cannot really get out of this swamp. Is it right pronunciation? Swamp?
Mm-hmm.
Swamp. P or not bug? Swamp. Yeah, it's this bug or what is it called? The bug or something of this corrupt civilization. Made us slaves. But there is no way to escape from it materially. But at least, if we really pay attention to the message that the Creator tells us, relieves us from this message, relieves us from the burden of these artificial things by making us conscious of it. Saying that I am aware that these are all artificial. They're prepared. And these are the results or products of human caprices. And I am thankful at least that I'm aware of my own source of existence, the meaning of my existence, and I know I am under within the shackles of this civilization. You cannot get out of it. Yeah, I have to take lots of transportation, public transportation, or car to come here, and it takes me 1 hour at least, plus the stress of traffic or other means. I'm not comfortable. I'm not free. I don't have to. This is the shackle put on my hands or my feet. But at least if I'm aware of it, why do I live, for example? I don't really take all these necessities into my heart. I free them. These are artificial. They are not really. But the real need that I have is provided by my Creator. Yep. This consciousness makes you be aware that, look, your Creator is taking care of you. You can only put your trust in Him and communicate with Him. See the world from His perspective that He teaches, or try to understand your meaning of your life according to the existence of a provider for your needs. There is someone who takes care of me. Although I am imprisoned in this civilization, associated that I am not physically, but you can at least free yourself emotionally from it. These are just artificial things imposed on me, but I cannot get out of it. But my heart is free. There's an interesting event. After a battle, some of the enemies of the prophet or the community were defeated in the battle and chained, if you like. Well, they were captured, they were defeated and when you catch them, the male, the combatant ones, only combatant ones you can do that. You cannot do to women, even in there in the field, but they take care of the wounded people or carry water or something. Now, in that society, in that particular society, the people didn't really disdain to kill them. Even the enemy is there. Say, oh, you are a, oh, I need a warrior. Yeah, I need a lion to fight with. Not yeah, come on. So they didn't touch them. Only the combatant men. So these people were captured. Look at the scenario now. And they were brought to the masjid, the Prophet's masjid. Of course, this is the administration center, masjid, or the Masjid al-Nabawi, which is called the Prophet's masjid, used to be an administration center of the society, the big society, not a small village. Maybe, I don't know, they are estimating the number changed, population, the number of the population of Medina city changed rapidly because as the people embraced Islam, migrated into Medina. So starting from 3,000, 5,000, increased, I don't know how much, but around this, at least 5,000 people, if not 10,000 people. These are the people, the administration of the society was taking place in the masjid, right? So the administrator, the responsible person for the security, law, and peace of the society, dealing with the people in the masjid, people's problems, and the problems of the, not the problems in the negative way, what needs to be done in the masjid. Not there was a masjid and also an administration center. Later on, they changed it. Okay. And made it, again, the Prophet fought against sultans, kings, and some people revived kingdom and made the palace, right? And did it in the name of Islam. You can understand how this corruption takes place very quickly. So we are very much tended to corruption. As long as it feeds ego, we love it. Anyways, so they were taken to the masjid and they were treated there. But as they were coming into the masjid, the Prophet was smiling at them. Yeah. But they get furious, those enslaved people. Furious. Why? Look at this. He's really happy that we are under chain and we are defeated. They were furious. They were talking among themselves, whispering to each other, look at this man. They say it's a compassionate prophet, and under the guidance of God, God cannot be that ruthless. He's a ruthless man, laughing at us because he's very proud of his victory over us. But which kind of man this is? This it must be an imposter, not a prophet as he claims to be. Not the Prophet was smiling. Yeah? They said, don't take it because they may kill us if we insult their leader. Yeah. So of course the Prophet was informed by God, and he came. You know why I was smiling at, to explain to him why I was smiling at. You were taking sweet with poison in it. Now I'm going to relieve you from this poison, give the real sweet with no poison. Now you are in my hand, I'll teach you in the masjid what the reality of your life is. Yeah? What is the truth to you? That's why I'm very happy that although you didn't want to come, but God's decree has brought you to the masjid so that it is on me. I have to teach you now. It's my responsibility to tell you what I'm going to teach you. But if you accept it, accept it. If you don't, right? That's why they were kept in the masjid, so that they wouldn't think that, no, they are putting us in the prison, but they entertain themselves in palaces. No, no, no. And they were given the best food. The Prophet was advising people, said it's a good thing to be a slave in the masjid, because the Prophet was saying they are used to having nice food, that they give the nice part of the food to them. You don't mind it. You understand. They understand. It's a very good thing to be. So, and also they were seeing how the administration is taking place, who's benefiting from it. They will see that no one is benefiting from it. Everybody is sacrificing. It was a good experience for them. So they understood the reality. Some of them really left or abandoned their obstinacy. Some of them didn't. It's human beings are free. So anyways, we are now not under the shackle of the Prophet. We are under the shackle of devil. So instead of smiling at our cases, we have to weep on ourselves. We are the ruthless people, exploiting our weak points. Okay. The solution, the Quran says, it is on us to offer you the solution. And it is here. Try to understand the message from your Creator rather than understanding what the society offers you and forces you to learn. You know, that in order to get the certificate, how many years you have been studying. Why? You get the certificate, and with the certificate, what are you going to do? I'm not being personal. What are you going to do as an accountant? Make the money owner richer. Work for it. Yep. Yeah. On the other hand, make the state get its share for sure. Pay the taxes. You do the accounting accordingly. Huh? Okay, otherwise I will take the certificate away from you. So they are not afraid of the boss, they are afraid of the state. Why? Because if they found out that you cheated the state, they take your certificate away and you are jobless. You will be an unemployed person. Please understand. So they say, no, I cannot do this. I don't want to lose my license. Yeah. Isn't that the case? I'm not going to talk about the pharmacy. You have to be following the desires of the pharmaceutical technology, huh? Don't you? You have to propagate the medicine. You have to sell so that you get your share a little bit, but they get the lion's share. They are helping us. The technology is developing in favor of human beings. But it doesn't mean that we should not investigate the creation and find out the means provided within the creation by the Creator so that it will help me, but I shouldn't use it in order to exploit people. And I should not prepare traps for them to fall into the trick that I'm going to exploit from them, or get the benefit from them. We understand we have to use it in favor of human beings. Unfortunately, it is not the case. So inshallah, we should learn the meaning of our life as it is explained by the Creator, by our Creator, and we will be free from the burden, if not physically, but at this emotionally, psychologically, we will have a happy. Otherwise, there is no way to get out of this, this burden, mostly artificial burden. especially the philosophical side. Philosophical side, it means, philosophical side means ideological side, it means theory. Yeah, we can relieve ourselves from meaninglessness. We can relieve. We can understand where are we going, why are we living in this world. At least, although I may be enslaved in the office, right? But you say, yeah, this is artificial one, and what shall I do? It is the tribe. It is the trick or not.
Trap.
Trap. It is the trap I fell into, and I cannot really get out of it because of life conditions, material life conditions. But at least I know why I'm living. At least I know what am I going to concentrate on. Be careful about it, not to lose myself to the advertisements or the artificial forces that you have to have it, you have to have it. Yeah, at least, so watch out. For example, not to be slave of the fashion. Watch out. At least. So you can try to get out of it as much as you can, but it needs a real consciousness, awareness. Real awareness. Otherwise, without realizing, of course I have to, this my mother wants, that my father wants. Now, there may be some people among us, I know there is one, now he's going to have marriage. I'm not pointing out anybody. Can he have it? Not under the restrictions or within the restrictions of the tradition that the family wants. Is it possible?
Difficult.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't want it, but my mother says I'm going to kill myself if you don't have this readiness. Yeah. Now, these are the burdens we took on ourselves because of not being conscious of the reality of this life, not being educated by the under the guidance of the God's speech. We have to free ourselves. You can do that, inshallah, by following. Okay, all right. The following one, the death, الذي انقضى ظهرك. That weight is so heavily on your back. Yeah, we are like this, carrying a lot of you. It's not easy. You know, to find, who can find 1 hour, not practically, not that I can, but I don't. No. For example, who has, don't be personal, don't give the answer. Ask yourself, who has time to study the Quran 1 hour a day, consistently? Well, I'm studying the Quran 1 hour a day, although I have to go to work, come back, etc., but 1 hour a day. Yeah, it is not much. It makes 7 hours a week. It's not much. Do we have, of course, we say, I have 8 hours work and 8 hours sleep, I mean, at the most, and 8 hours for my leisure activities. Do you have 1 hour out of this 8 hour leisure time? 1 hour to study the Quran? No. That's why we are really under the impact or oppression, heavy load on our weight. It says, we just relieved you from this so heavy load that is on your back, and you cannot get out of it. Just be conscious of yourself, you can have. Be conscious of yourself, your time. And do I have to do this? Do I have to spend on this? Do I have to have this? Right? If you really question this without being carried away by the flood of this secularist civilization, you can still live in New York and you can be free. To a certain extent, but you can make yourself free. But this needs first consciousness and strong education, training, and consistency. This is difficult. Consistency. But what we do in practice, I mean, it's not always good to criticize the mistakes of the people, but what is going on, we have to be aware of it. We reduce religion to what? Rituals. Exactly. Rituals. And when we follow the rituals, and when we are driving, if you listen to the music, which is the recitation of the Quran, you are very religious. Waste your time. You don't study because it's a good music. Yeah. Sorry? You didn't agree?
No, I didn't understand.
Well, when we are driving, if you listen to the music, to the Quran, you say, I'm very religious. Yeah, I don't know. You are a fan of music because of the beautiful recitation. It's a beautiful recitation. We don't get any meaning. You don't train yourself with it. That is what religion is all about. Maybe inviting your relatives, your friends for iftar, for food. You never talk about anything reality, truth. You talk about the food while eating the food. That's what's happening here. So that is why our back never gets straight. We are under the heavy load. We don't have time. We don't have energy to do anything else than concerning with this world life. That's the reality. But the following verse, the last verse in this slide, وَرَفَعْنَا لَكَ ذِكْرَكَ. That's a very interesting verse. Rafa. Now, if you attend some religious classes or organizations, activities, or if you listen to khutbahs in order to learn your religion, you hear that everybody appreciates the message of the Prophet. So everybody knows him. He became dignified. Yeah, maybe look, millions of people, even more than 1 billion people make salawat on you. You see, you became famous. Everybody prays for you. That's what you hear. Yeah. What else? Did you hear this interpretation of this verse?
I did.
You did. Yeah. So, وَرَفَعْنَا لَكَ ذِكْرَكَ. Now, there's a very interesting verse. Who can find it to me from internet? You see, internet is good. Helps us to understand what is it. Okay, 94.4. No, 94.4? Oh, come on, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Sorry.
What is that?
What's written on the screen?
No, it is wrong. It is wrong. No. Nisa. This is 94.4. We are studying.
Right.
Nisa 4, it means chapter 4, 157 and 158. You can find all those people who have the Quran with them in technology, in digital form. Did you find it?
You said Nisa?
Nisa 4, 157 and 158. Who's going to read it in an articulate way, slowly? Let's follow it by word. That's what the Quran needs to be read. But we turn, excuse me, I'll tell you something while you are busy with your iPhones. The Prophet was articulating the Quran while he was reading, making every letter clearly pronounced. We turned into what? Tajweed. And rather than reading the Quran with an articulated way to understand the meaning, not missing, not confusing the words, we make the rules and we obey the rules and say, I read the Quran in a perfect way, understood nothing. Comedy is going on. Comedy is going. We got the rules and we don't use the rules for the purpose. Make the statements clearly in your dialect. The Prophet was respectful to the dialect. Now, some people pronounce in this way. Some people cannot pronounce the letters as the certain group of people in the world, native Arabic speakers, pronounce it. So it is not accepted. But articulated way, that's why it needs to be taken seriously. Okay, who's going to read it? Can you? Yeah? Slowly.
157 and 158.
157 first and then 58. No, this is not articulated. This is the way of Egyptian reading the Quran. Very slowly. Where? وَقَوْلِهِمْ. Yeah. The subject is, or the context is, those people who interpreted the crucifixion of the Prophet Jesus, their claim, it means that qawl means here claim, their claim, yeah, وَقَوْلِهِمْ, they say we killed the Messiah Isa, the Prophet Isa, yeah. Sorry? No. Before the word. Inna?
Ibn Maryam.
No. I don't follow it.
Should I read the English
Ibn?
translation?
No. No, but I don't hear you. My hearing is somewhat impaired, yeah. Inna Maryam. Yeah, make it Inna Maryam. Sorry? Ibn Maryam. Oh, look, still I don't understand. So Ibn Maryam, okay, the Jesus, the son of Maryam, yeah. They didn't know that it is Allah's messenger. Wama? They did not kill Jesus and never crucified the Jesus. Yeah. They thought they crucified the Prophet, but they crucified something else. Shubbiha is like person, a person like him. Now, continue. Let's understand this, at least the literal meaning of the verse. Yeah. Yeah, those people who dispute about it, they didn't get the agreement. Yes, they said, oh, no, we did. No, we didn't. Something going on there, arguments, yeah. Well, they are doubtful about this matter. Well, they don't really know exactly what happened. I'm paraphrasing them simply, very roughly, yeah. Inna? إتباع الظن, following their own dhan. Sorry?
Assumption.
assumption,
Whims.
in conjunction. Yeah, conjunction. Their own assumption is the simple way of putting it. Yes,
وما قتلوه يقينا.
the one that not certain that they killed the Jesus, the son of Mary. Yeah,
This is the next verse.
yeah,
بل رفعه الله إليه.
yeah. Now this Bel,
رفعه الله.
God has raised him. Yeah, Rafa'ullahu.
himself.
To-
God raised Jesus.
No. Original text.
بل رفعه الله إليه.
Ilayhi. To himself. Now, raised him to himself. Now, how it is understood, I don't say it is wrong, none of my business. They say Jesus is taken up to heaven, and he's there, he's living. Towards the end of time, he will come. This is the literal understanding of the text. But what is rafa'a? He's used here. رفعنا لك ذكرك. Now, ذكرك, it is translated here, we raised you high in dignity, but we know that dhikr is the dhikr, your remembrance. What is the remembrance of the prophet?
His message.
His message.
His teachings. Now, his teaching is elevated, raised, ascended to God. Here, right? We can apply it to Jesus, not the literal meaning, but what we have to understand from the story, you cannot kill the prophet. Why? For example, if there is a real serious war, a legitimate, Islamically legitimate war, yes, let's say the war of Badr, okay? I don't know afterwards if there was any legitimate law, well, after the death of the prophet, if there was any legitimate war at all, but the sultans decided to kill people or invade their land. All corruption went there. So in the legitimate war, when you kill a man, right? Because he is the enemy of God. Did you kill the ideology that he carried? Did you kill the belief that he carried? Wrong belief, unbelief, denial? No, what God is saying, they thought they killed Jesus. They cannot. Right? His ideology, his teaching, his message cannot be killed. Because what makes the prophet a person, what makes a person prophet is not his body,
His message.
his message. You cannot kill the message. Because you have to come up with a counter argument to defeat what Jesus taught them. They didn't. But they thought they did. They understand the crucifixion story? They thought they did. Even physically, they killed the man. It never means that they killed him as a prophet, as a messenger. It is always go back to God, because his teaching is the way to reach God, right? Now, being safe in the heavens now, because it is not killed, he is not killed according to literal, but historical actually. There are some, very few people interpret this verse as nothing to do with historical teaching at all. It is just that you cannot kill the message, you cannot kill a believer, and by killing the believer, you killed the fundamentals of belief. Did you? Belief is there. You cannot kill it. But you can only kill an ideology, an idea, a message, if you come up with a counter argument and defeat it and logically make sense that you killed the man now. Otherwise, you can kill the body. That's why the Prophet was telling the people, and the Quran was saying that don't go in an excessive way, israf, excessive, excession, no,
Extreme.
no,
Excess.
sorry, say
Excessive.
excessive. Don't be excessive in killing during the war, legitimate war, although they are going to kill you. Still, unless it is necessary, don't kill the man. What are you going to gain by killing the man? There's no point. But if they leave, they may become aware of the truth and they embrace it. And the verse also explains, other verse also explains that, look, they were the enemies of Islam 10 years ago. Now they are your supporters, you see. It was a good idea not to kill them. So killing is not the point at all. So killing Jesus is not the point. Crucifying Jesus is not the point. The Christianity make big meal out of the ideology, big meal out of it, saying that because he sacrifices that for our sins, or all this trash ideas comes out of this literal meaning, even accepted and propagated by Muslim scholars. Meaningless. What's the point in killing a man? In both sense, killing a prophet or killing for example, the Jewish people, as a context-wise Jewish people. Now, everybody can do it. They said Jewish people are accused in the Quran of killing the prophets. They said, well, which prophet we killed? Come on. Huh? And his story makes up one name or one. You cannot kill the prophet because the message is eternal that they represent. What makes them the prophet is the message. By killing a scientist, a physicist, for example, can you kill the physics? Can you? No. It's obvious, isn't it? So rafa'a means, and we have been not raised you high in dignity. It means, then in dhikr, it means the teaching you propagated, you spread, you disseminated, is accepted by many people and appreciated it. So your dhikr is dignified. Your dhikr is elevated. Your dhikr is raised to God. It means you, through your message, you took the people and attach them, connect them to God. Yeah? What was the word? Where? The last word you read in 158. Last word, ilay. What was it? Verafa'ahu ilay. Rafa'ahu Allahu ilay. God has elevated or raised to himself. Well, where did they get this? The body is taken to heaven. We should be very careful about the stories. Now, when we benefit from the message that the Prophet Muhammad brought to us, or the message Allah sent through the Prophet Muhammad, then if we benefit from his message, what do? We attach our existence to God through his message. So that because the fundamental teachings of the Prophet is to introduce people to his source of existence to the Creator. So you connect your existence to God through the teachings of the Prophet. That's why his dhikr became elevated, rafa'a. That's how we should understand the word rafa'a, to be raised, to raise, yeah, elevated or ascended to God. So can you not, when you attach your existence to God and be in the presence of God, are you not in your miraj? Right? It means you ascended to God. You attach your being, your reality to God, and you belong to God now as far as your understanding, your comprehension is concerned. It is not a strange interpretation. The other way that we hear in the community is very strange and not appropriate to the reality of the eternal teaching of God. A person who's called Jesus claimed to be killed by certain people. God says, no, I let you know they didn't kill him. What shall I do? He is raised to me now in heavens. What is the heavens? I don't know. There's no word in the verse says that it is in heavens, is that he was elevated or raised to God. Where did he get heavens? Heavens is the stars. What is he going to do there? Is he a tourist or what? What is he doing? Not traveling through the cosmos. What is that? Is it really appropriate way of understanding the eternal speech? It doesn't make sense to me at all. Yeah? I can say, using certain language, they thought they killed the prophet Jesus, but because they looked at the body of the Jesus as Satan looked at the body of Adam in the example of the Quran. So Satan said, I am superior to his mud. You made it out of clay, man. I am made out of fire. It is higher in degree, so I cannot prostrate. It means I cannot really see him as higher degree, having higher degree than me. So he saw Adam in the clay form, right? They saw Jesus in the clay form, but angels saw Adam in the spirit form, which he was breathed from God, as the Quran explains it. Not the story, not the history, this is story. Really reading the Quran under the guidance of history is most stupid, idiotic way of understanding the Quran. So the angels prostrated the manifestation of the breath of Allah's spirit in the body of Adam. Satan saw it the body. So those people, even they killed the body of Jesus, but the spirit is real Jesus, the messenger Jesus. They cannot kill it. Should be hello. According to their vision, according to their values, according to their criteria, they thought, if I kill this animal body, I will get rid of this problem. Did they? In a corrupted way, in a deviated way, whatever, the most popular religion of the world today is Christianity. But it is somehow deviated, or that is different. But they really somehow get the message of the Jesus Christ, the Son of Mary, and they are proud of it. You see, Jesus is still alive. in his mission. Yeah. So is the Prophet Muhammad alive in his mission? His body is dead. Go to Medina and see his grave if you don't believe. Yep. But is he alive or not? Yeah. And through the teachings, can you not get in contact with God? Take your existence and deliver it to God, submit it to God. I belong to you through the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad. Right? So why don't you understand this very clearly according to the teachings of the Quran, which is not story. What none of my business. The body of Jesus was killed by certain people or not. The Quran is saying, no, they didn't. So what am I going to do with it? Why do you tell me? Yeah, on the other hand, the Quran in his eternal speech, with the eternal knowledge or the eternal infinite capacity, tells that those people kept killing prophets. But they say, no, we didn't kill. Now the Quran means by not accepting, by rejecting the message of the prophets, they annihilate the existence of the prophet in their life because they didn't take the message. So even the body of the prophet was there, doesn't matter. As long as they are concerned, the body of the prophet is dead, not conveying any message. So they kept killing the prophets. Well, we may do the same thing if we don't take the message. We may kill the prophets. Although Muhammad is dead, but if you reject his message, even Jesus, if we had the opportunity to get the real message of Jesus, if you reject it, you killed the Jesus in your life. But shubbiha lahu, the likeness of it, according to the eyes of the people who looked at Jesus in his animal form, body, not his mission. Did they bring any counter argument against the teachings of Jesus? No, it is alive and it is connected to God, elevated to God. It means it connects everything to God, takes everything to God, and makes everything belong to God. Isn't that obvious? I don't know. The history is horrible way of approaching the Quran, deviates the meaning of the Quran, reduces it to an material statement, secular statement, bothering about the body of a person. Animal, well, Jesus had eyes, I have eyes. Yeah, Jesus had heart, I have heart. No, flesh, bone, yeah, I have it. What is the difference? What makes the difference between me and him? He is the carrier of the message. So Jesus means not the body. Muhammad means not the body. Yeah? Do you worship body of Muhammad? Do you even remember it? Or take it into account? No, the message. That's why in the prayer what you say? Assalamu alayka. Ya ayyuhan nabi. Don't you say that? Alayka means to you, man, to you. Where is it? And some stupid people say, the Prophet is dead. You cannot say Assalamu alayka ayyuhan nabi. They are looking at the Prophet's being like the Satan looked at Adam. Body. That's why they cannot say Assalamu alayka ya Rasulallah, ya Nabi Allah. They can't, because The Nabi reminds them the body of a person, not the mission. You get it very simple. It's very simple. But unfortunately, if you start narrating the story upon story, but the first man put this story into the meaning of the Quran, and the historian, you know, this Tabari is an historian, Ibn Kathir is an historian. They are historians by profession. So if you read Ibn Kathir's tafsir, you find yourself in history reading. And Tabari, most of the people, because he has huge volumes and lots of books written, so all the stories go back to the origin of Tabari. And Tabari is an historian. Collected all the people he heard, he got, what they said about something, together with lots of Israeliyat, you know, the stories of the Jewish rabbinic teachings. And if you refer to an original source, which belongs to 9th century, 10th century, you are a great scholar because you are going back to the origin. But you go back to understand the Quran, you go back to a historian. We have to watch it. We have to free ourselves from the historical account of the commentators, certain historian commentators. Okay, now, do we understand now what the last verse says? Have we not raised you high, indignant? And where is dhikr, man, in the translation? Dhikrak. Your mention of it. But what do you mention now when you say Muhammad? What do you mention? Yeah? His body? He was an handsome man? Oh, he was such a well-built body or something. What do you mention of the Prophet? What?
Message.
See? His
Message.
His message. So his message is elevated. Yeah? Whoever reads the message he brought to us, can you not find, as much as you studied, can you not find yourself attached to the source of your creation, which is the creator of the whole universe, Rabbul Alameen, the Lord of the whole world, elevated through his teaching, or the teaching we received through him. Yeah? Now that is the memory we have. Dhikr we have. When we mention the Prophet, we mention his message, not his body. Now this message is elevated. Yeah. Whoever follows the message, whoever studies the message, attaches its existence to its source. It means really describe or identify your existence as belonging to God. وَرَفَعَهُ اللَّهُ إِلَيْهِ. Yeah, is it right? I'm not in Hafiz, and I don't really pay attention to memorizing the verses, but meaning is very, very powerful. I found the same word is used here. The Rafa and Rafa. وَرَفَعْنَاكَ وَرَفَعْنَا لَكَ ذِكْرَكَ. It means the same thing happened to Jesus. Now, the Prophet died, not crucified, doesn't matter. The body is crucified, doesn't really matter at all. It's not a matter of any question or concern. Well, Muhammad died as well. Yeah? Whether crucified or died, whether both of them died bodily. But the messages the messages they brought are still alive. So that's why we will welcome the message. We say, Assalamu alayka ayyuhan nabi. Yeah, it means I am with your message. I am proud of it. Although I don't practice it, that's what I say during prayer. Although I don't practice it, Really, most of the time I am neglectful of it, but I really, really appreciate your message. And I declare peace between me and his message. It means I agree with it. I confirm it. Right? رفعه الله رفعه الله إليه. It's beautiful. The same thing. وَرَفَعْنَا لَكَ ذِكْرَكَ. Your remembrance, where everybody remembers. When you remember the prophet, do you remember his body or his message? Which one?
Message.
Message. What is it to do with body? What is it to do with body? I don't understand. It is ridiculous. Alhamdulillah. I think we have to just, how do you say, clean the rust on the verses of the Quran, makes it clear for us and applicable to every aspect of our life, and really stop interpreting the Quran in a secularist way, making it material interpretation. It's very important. Inshallah, we can continue last 4 verses next week. Maybe afterwards, what will come? Let's finish this one and then talk about what will follow. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Wa akhiru da'wahum alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin bi hurmati sirri surati Fatiha.